What's good, Panther Nation? Welcome back to Two Fans in the Stands. I'm CJ,
And I'm your boy Tony.
and this will be Ep.2 of Where We Stand. And today we're going to take a look at the wide receivers and the tight ends. Let's get it. Tony, what's good, cousin? How you doing today, buddy?
Man, I can't call. I got six in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Guess I called even.
Oh,
How
there
about
you go.
yourself?
Hey, I'm right there with you, man. Doing good. We are
Already.
a couple days closer to the camp, man, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for all the smoke, all the action, everything that's gonna happen. You know,
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
like
sir.
that. It's kind of like the one of the ending scenes from Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where the Russian lady was like, I want to know it all." Yeah, that's me. I'm ready for camp. I want to know everything. I want to know all of it.
I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel you.
yep. And like we always do, go ahead and get a little bit of business out the way. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe, turn those post notifications so you know when our videos come out. We're still on our road to 1,000 subscribers. We thank everybody who has done so far, and we appreciate the support, and we love y'all for it. Okay, so in
Yes,
our
sir.
second episode of Where We Stand, all right, we're going to take a look at the wide receivers and the tight ends. Okay. And
All
I
right.
think these are two positions that early on in camp, and especially preseason, you're going to see where everything shakes out. I think the tight end position is pretty much set in stone. I think we can say that we know what's going to happen there. But the wide receiver room I think is going to be very interesting. We if you haven't already, we did a video about a month ago about you know how our wide receiver room look and who's going to be wide receiver one. So
Right.
I'll put a link to that. But if you haven't, go back and check that out. But I think our wide receiver room is going to be interesting. Okay. And just like our last video, when we get done with each position, we have our two fans in the stands comfort scale. Okay. And our comfort scale starts at the bottom with absolutely not. It goes to I don't know. In the middle, it's all right. And then at the top, you got we good. And at the very top, you got for sure. Okay. For sure is the
All right.
highest comfort level in the position. All right. So let's go ahead and start it off with the tight end room. And I'm gonna go first this time, Tony. So
Okay.
tight end, we brought in Hayden Hurst from Cincinnati. All right. And to me, I wouldn't say he's unknown, but I think this year will potentially be a breakout season for him. He's been in the league. He came in with in Baltimore with Mark Andrews. If I'm right, Tony, they were the same draft.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Same draft.
So he's only had 2 seasons where he was the feature tight end. And one was in 2020 in Atlanta. And the other one was last year with Cincinnati, and he had Joe Burrow as his quarterback. Okay.
Right.
Um and I say not really unknown, but a tight end is kind of a safety valve, safety blanket for your quarterback. So I think there's going to be opportunity, hand over fist for him this year to get the ball. I mean, he's played behind Mark Andrews, he's played behind Kyle Pitts for a year. And even though he was the number one tight end last year in Cincinnati, you still had a receiving room of Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. I think I'm saying that right. Tyler Boyd, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, okay. So I mean now that's a lot of that's a lot of production to try and get in and get your slice of. Okay. So I don't think he's going to have an issue getting balls thrown his way this year. I don't think he's going to have issue getting catches. So I feel good about him. Now, when it comes down to Tommy Trimble, we got to see. We got to see. He came out with his the comments about Matt Rule and the coaching staff, and kind of confirmed what a lot of people thought. It was just kind of, his words. They just kind of went out there and did it. And it
Just
was like
winging it.
yeah, just winging it. You come back to the huddle and it's like, what do we do? What do we do wrong? Shit, just go out there and run the next play. Okay, so we to me, I see the potential in Tommy Trimble. When you look at it, he wasn't known as a prolific pass catching tight end coming out of Notre Dame, but he's got hands. Okay,
Yeah,
I
he
think
got
he's
some
got decent.
hands.
Yeah, I think he's got decent hands. He can catch the ball. This year I'm looking forward to seeing what this new coaching staff is going to do with him, and that combination of him and Hayden Hurst. It's it intrigues me. Okay, it definitely
Okay.
intrigues me. And you go down to Ian Thomas, and I like Ian Thomas, okay, but I kind of put Ian Thomas in the same role that I put Matt Corral in the previous episode, of where to me it just feels like he just gonna be there, barring any injuries to Hurst, and Trimble, he's just gonna be tight end 3. Okay.
Right.
But I do look forward to seeing what this room is going to do. And like I said before, I think Hayden Hurst will have ample opportunities um to prove what he can do and potentially have a breakout season. All right. So Tony, what you think about
Okay.
the tight end room?
Well, for me, I have a Hayden Hurst, 5th year
Mm-hmm.
vet, looking to build off of and improve from last year. His 2022 stats were 52 receptions, 414 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an 8.0 average yards per catch. Decent pass catching tight end who looks to be healthy now, and like we mentioned before, coming off the injury,
Mm-hmm.
shows good athleticism, good speed to move the chains, and he's an average blocker. All right. For Ian Thomas, 5th year vet, looking to maximize his potential.
Mm-hmm.
2022 stats: 21 receptions, 197 yards, no touchdowns, but had 9.4 average yard per catch. He's a great blocker, but a below average receiver, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Contract doesn't match the production at all. We had countless conversations about that last year, especially
Mm-hmm.
when it came out, and we were all surprised at the extension that he got from the Panthers. But that's neither here nor there. That's for a different subject for a different day. Um, but I expect that because this offense is tight end friendly, especially with this um, triangle read offense that Frank Wright is going to implement, that he had in Indianapolis and also ran in Philadelphia when they won the Super Bowl. So that should help him become more productive, in my opinion.
Okay.
And last but not least, Tommy Trumbull, 2-year vet with very limited production but good upside. His 2022 stat line was 19 receptions, 174 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 9.2 yards per
Mm-hmm.
catch. Excellent blocker and average pass catcher, in my opinion. Violent and loves contact, needs to improve his hands and route running, and I'm curious to see how he will be used in this offense as well. Uh, I think those are the three mainstays in a tight end room. I think the other guys, Sullivan, Giovanni Ricci, you can either list him as a tight end or a fullback. I know last year he primarily played fullback for us,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know what his role will be this year. Maybe the same thing, but in that wide zone offense, it's primarily one back in the backfield. So let's move to the comfort meter and
Okay.
see what the ratings we have for the tight ends.
All right, go ahead. What is your comfort level with the tight ends? And for those of you that seen before, we got for sure, we good. It's all right. I don't know. Absolutely not.
Okay. For the comfort meter, I was kind of torn in
Mm,
between, but I think I'm going to give it it's I. And the only
okay.
reason I give it it's I instead of I don't know is because they did the one thing that me and you both have been harping on, and Panther Nation probably been harping on for the past 3 or 4 years. We need a
Mm,
pass catching tight end. So they finally addressed that position. And so if it wasn't for Hayden Hurst, I'd be like, I don't know. I really don't know
yeah.
what we doing, where we going. But because he's in the fold now, I had to give it it's all right. Well, what you
Okay.
think, CJ? What you
You know
give it?
what? I'm gonna one up you. I'm gonna give it a we good. Okay, I'm gonna give it a
Okay.
we good. I'm pretty confident in this tight end room, and if Hayden Hurst can stay healthy, that's even better. Okay, and just say that Hayden Hurst does have an injury and he misses time. Um, I'm gonna put a little faith in Tommy Trimble. Okay. I'm gonna put a little faith in
All
Tommy
right.
Trimble, and I think that he can show up and show out a lot more than he's done the past couple seasons. And and if it's a situation where it's him and Ian Thomas, Ian Thomas get his ass out there and block, you know, I'm cool with that. You know,
Right, right.
look, Tommy catch, Ian block. I mean, and Trimble is no slouch at blocking at tight end position neither. But as a whole, I think we good. I feel
Okay.
like we
All
good.
right.
I'm gonna step on a little faith there. I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna get some people telling me I'm crazy for that one, but I'm gonna step out and say we good.
Let your optimism remain high, my brother.
Oh, it is. It is until something. Look, my my balloon is filled until somebody come and let the air out. Yeah. So hey,
Already, I feel you. I
all
feel
right.
you.
So the next position that we're going to discuss our comfort level and where we stand at is the wide receiver room. Okay, wide receiver
Okay.
room. And Tony, I'm gonna go first again on this one. Um, I got a lot of optimism about the wide receiver room. Okay. Um,
Okay.
Terrace Marshall didn't get much burn his rookie year. He was hurt. Last year, he ended up with 490 yards and a touchdown. And I still think that was with a lot of uh spotty usage, if that makes sense. I don't think he was utilized correctly. And then especially when the offense transitioned to okay, we're gonna be a power run team first, and then we're gonna work off of that. He made the best of his opportunities. I do believe he showed that he has hands. He has really good hands. He has good speed.
Yes,
He
yes, he
runs crisp.
does.
He runs crisp routes. Go back and look at his film. He runs good routes, and he's probably my vote for being our breakout player this year on offense. If anybody asks me that question, the first name I'm gonna give him, Terrace Marshall Jr. He gonna have a breakout season. Um,
I agree with you
DJ
on that.
DJ Chark, DJ Chark. If he can stay healthy, I think he's going to be able to take the top off of a lot of defenses. I think his route running is underrated. I think he has great hands, and I think he can be he can be a weapon. I ain't gonna say that really sneaks up on a lot of people, but I think at the end of the season, Panther fans are gonna be like, oh, like I think he's gonna surprise our fan base. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
I think he's gonna
Yeah.
go out there and kind of make Panther fans be like, oh, okay, because I get the feeling that a lot of people were like, when they signed him. But if you go back and look at what he's able to do, I mean, he's a burner. He's got speed, but there is more to him than just running go routes and catching long passes. So
Okay.
Adam Thielen, veteran presence. I do believe he's going to be our like that go-to fallback possession wide receiver, 3rd and 10. He's going to be the one to find the hole in the defense and get the first down.
So
He's going to
wide receiver one is what you're saying?
at the start of the year, yes. At the start of the year, yes. Yes. At the start of the year,
Okay. All
yes. Wide
right.
receiver one. Yeah. So, but I do believe that that's going to change sooner than later. But like I was saying,
Okay.
veteran presence. He can guide the the younger receivers, and I mean, hell, to be honest with you, shoot, they're all young compared to him. But especially like rookies, like you got Mingo and then Marshall. I mean, if you want to count his first year, yeah, but I would say last year was technically his rookie year. But again, veteran presence, been around the block, has a lot of playoff experience, and he brings a lot to the table. Um, Laviska Shenault, I mentioned him briefly. Um, I want to see the Panthers kind of put him in that Debo-esque role, and we saw that just shine on two plays last year, one against the Falcons and one against the Saints, where he caught the ball and he made it work. Good blocks down the field. Both of them ended up in touchdown. So, but I think he can do a lot more. I mean, I think he's a good pass catcher, but they can put him all over the field. They can line him up in the backfield, in the slot, outside, wherever they want to put him. But I'm interested to see in what he's going to do. And then you got Jonathan Mingo, our second round pick. Um,
Okay.
I think the ceiling is high for him, but my only thing with him is I think he's going to be around fourth or fifth on the depth chart to start the year. So we got to see what they're going to do with him, and then we got to see what he's going to do with his opportunity. So my
Okay.
jury's still out on Mingo, but I'm gonna give it to you, Tony. What do you think about the wide receiver room?
All right. Well, I'm gonna start with Adam Thielen, and like you said, he's a 10-year veteran, has a ton of game experience and
Mm-hmm.
success. Former wide receiver one with Minnesota. His 2022 stat line reads 70 receptions, 716 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 10.2 average. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that really stood out about me when it comes to his production was he had 45 touchdowns over the last 5 years. Savvy route runner with great speed, understands route concepts, how to create separation, and great body control and hands. Okay. Terrace Marshall Jr., third year vet looking to stay healthy and be a key contributor. Good production in year two,
Mm-hmm.
hoping that increases with more playing time and a better QB. He's a better slot receiver than outside receiver, in my opinion. Big body receiver who can win inside or outside, and tough and has a flair for the big moment. I forgot to put his stat line down, so forgive me on that, Panther Nation. But I forgot to put his stat lines down for 2022.
Marshall.
So yeah, for Terrence Marshall
Okay.
Jr. And next I have DJ Chark, fifth year vet coming off an injury. 2022 stat line, he has 30 receptions, 502 yards, 3 touchdowns at a 16.7 yard average. Now I know there was few comments when CJ put out the shorts
Short.
on DJ Chark, and I was like, I think he'll average about 17 yards per catch next year. And that's what I was basing off of, pretty much putting it in line with what he averaged last year, okay? And the
Mm-hmm.
potential that he can have this year in this offense. All right.
Okay.
Um, he's a speed demon with great height and size. He's 6'4", 205, looking for a bounce back year, and wants to show he can run the route tree as well. Now, I'm of the mindset that he can run the route tree, but I don't know how good of a route runner he is because he's been primarily used because of what he's known for, and that's his speed. Deep
Mm-hmm.
ball, go get it, whether it's a go route, post, something like that. But he said that he wants to work on being a more complete wide receiver. And with this coaching staff and Sean Jefferson being the wide receiver coach, I believe they can get him there. So hopefully this year is his proven year and he use it to his full advantage. Okay.
Okay.
So the next receiver I got is LaVisca Chenault, third-year vet, looking to build off a decent first year with the Panthers. 2022 stat line, he had 27 receptions for 272 yards, one touchdown, which is come out to a 10.1 average per catch. He's more of a slot H-back type of player who also
Mm-hmm.
excels as a punt returner. Built like a powerful running back and doesn't go down easy at all. So when you think about his play style, like you mentioned earlier, he reminds you of Debo Samuel. Okay, so I'm curious to see what kind of plan that Frank Wright has for him in this offense. Are
Mm-hmm.
they going to use him more inside, which I think will benefit him when it comes to his size, not necessarily his speed, but his size and his quickness. You know, matching up against outside linebackers, and some smaller safeties. I think that'd be beneficial for him, and he's not afraid to catch the ball and or afraid of contact in the middle. All right, so my next wide receiver is Jonathan Mingo. Now, the rookie wide receiver is looking to come in and learn the offense and make a name for himself. His 2022 college stat lines, he had 51 receptions for 861 yards and five touchdowns, which comes to a 16.8 average per catch. He's not a burner, but creates separation with his size and strength. Not afraid of going over the middle and provides a big target for the QB. Now, you talking about someone of his size. I know there's been some comps comparing him to Anquan Bolden. They used to came out of Florida State to play back in the days. Some
Mm-hmm.
people want to compare him more of like an AJ Brown. I see a young Muhsin Muhammad. I mentioned that before, and I'm gonna stick with it because I his route running along with his size is what's gonna really help him develop and be a mismatch problem for other teams. So but he, like you said, he does have a high ceiling, and I'm just curious and anxious to see if he'll be able to hit it. So that's what I have for the wide receivers right now. So CJ, let's take it on over to the comfort meter, my brother. What you got?
All right. So my comfort meter for the wide receiver room, I'm going to say it's all right. Okay. And I say that because with no,
Dang.
hear me out. Hear me out. I say that it's on the it's kind of in between. We good and it's all right. I say that because I'm anxious to see what Marshall is going to do. Okay, I'm anxious to see if Chart can stay healthy for the whole season, and I'm also
Right,
anxious to see how they'll be used as a unit. Okay, will the Panthers
right.
staff how they're going to use them, how they're going to play off of each other, how they're going to take their strengths and like kind of run them together and make the whole unit as a whole
Maximize
maximize the whole unit as a whole. Okay,
it. Right.
because like you said, we're still waiting for Terrace Marshall to have a breakout year. DJ Chark has had a good couple seasons, but he is coming off of injury. Mingo is a rookie. Chenault, that's another one I think who has a high ceiling, but they got to put him in the right positions. And then you got Adam Thielen. I think Adam Thielen is the only like receiver in our room that's like, okay, we know what we got in him. He's been proving it for the last however many years, and everybody else is okay. Let's kind of find out. All right. So like I said, I'm fringe. We good. It's all right, but I'm gonna give him it's all right. What about you?
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, well, I'm gonna give it a we good rating.
Okay.
And I do so because I ain't gonna lie. I'm still a little ticked off about the article that came out that said that we have enough firepower. So I'm going out on a limb and I'm taking it personal because I know
hmm
the wide receiver room is gonna take it personal.
Oh yeah.
And the good rating is I feel good about the pieces that we brought in. Like I mentioned to you early on with this offense. route running, being able to create separation is highly important. And I think we have receivers and brought in some receivers that can do just that. Jonathan
Mm-hmm.
Mingo can do that, big body receiver. Terrace Marshall can do that, big body receiver. Adam Thielen can work inside or outside. Okay, create separation, 7 route runner, got probably the best hands on the team. Then you're talking about DJ Chark that can come in and take the top off. If that's not good enough, you have Demir Bird that can come and take the top off. So I think we have a pretty good wide receiver room. I think the thing that has hindered us in the past has been the quarterback play. And I think this year's group at quarterback is that much better, which the receivers should benefit from. And in that
Mm-hmm.
triangle read offensive front right, you have to be able to create separation, and you will see a lot of the receivers in the slot being able to catch balls. And I think those guys are gonna have a lot of opportunity for yards after catch. You know what I'm saying? That yak.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
I think those guys have pretty good hands, and we have a pretty accurate quarterback that's gonna be spinning them the ball.
Oh yeah.
So I know I'm being probably higher than most people, but that's what it is with me, and then I'm sticking with it.
All right. Well, cool. Cool. I like it. I like it. Like
All
you told me
right.
in the last episode, keep your optimism there. Keep the
Yeah, I'm
faith.
saying with my chest.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, Panther Nation, that's going to be it for the second episode of Where We Stand. And in this episode, we looked at the tight ends and the wide receiver position for the 2023 Carolina Panthers. Okay. And we gave our ratings on our comfort scale all the way from for sure down to absolutely not. All right. So if you haven't already, like I always say, hit that like button, subscribe, turn those post notification bells so you know when our videos come out. We're still on our road to 1,000 subscribers. We love and appreciate everybody that has done so far. And if you haven't, go ahead and do it for us. Help our channel out. Okay. Stay tuned for our next episode where we'll be going over the offensive line, the hog mollies, the guys in the trenches. Okay.
Yes,
So,
sir.
as always, Panther Nation, you know what I'm about to say. Keep pounding.